Very good afternoon, all of you. My name is Srirang Booth. I'm working as CTO at Global Product Compliance Group. And today I'll be talking about the labels on chemical packaging, indirectly the CLP regulations in UK. So these are the topics that I'm going to cover today. So why do we need to communicate hazard substances? A background about GHS. Then we will discuss about the GB-CLP regulation, changes to CLP regulation, how these changes are happening within GB-CLP regulation, the impact on other chemical laws, how it is going to impact, then the exemptions from CLP regulation, how the enforcement activities will happen within the CLP regulation, and some take-home points for you. So why do we need to communicate on hazardous substance? Basically, no one knows which substance is hazardous or which substance is safe. So it is important for us to first get the first-hand knowledge about the chemical hazard based on the properties of the chemical, and then these hazards can be further communicated within the supply chain and the users so that it can be used and disposed of safely. So it is not going to harm environment or it is not going to harm the users. By communicating the hazardous nature of the substance, we are also educating the customers on the meaning of the warning symbols and the phrases that normally contain with the label which is attached with the chemicals. So hazardous nature, to understand the nature of the substance, it is very important that we should have the information about the chemical. But then what will happen, like if every country will have their own individual regulation, and then they will have their own individual way of doing the labeling for that particular substance. So substance can be hazardous at one place, that in one country, that substance can be non-hazardous in other country. So the discussion has begun about how to harmonize this classification and the labeling information. The discussion initiated in 1992 in the Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro, and then this has been further confirmed in 2002, the World Summit at Johannesburg. So it has been agreed that to avoid international trade related issues, the harmonization of the classification and labeling information of the chemical should be a concern and it should be addressed. So United Nations has come up and they have developed a globally harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals. So it's not a regulation, it's just a criteria that United Nations has developed for classifying chemicals according to their health, environmental and physical hazard. And then how the hazard communication will happen through the labeling and the safety data sheet. So they have harmonized the system. So based on this framework, individual country has to adapt that globally harmonized system into their individual regulations to further reduce the testing and evaluation of chemicals. So the international trade can happen easily and the chemical or the symbol meaning will be same around the world. So GB after the Brexit has also adopted the GHS regulation with some minor changes from EU CLP. So what are the changes that has happened? So EU CLP regulation has been amended as a GB CLP to operate fully and effectively in GB. I'm using Great Britain here because Northern Ireland is not part of this regulation, and that's why it is called as GB CLP regulation, not the UK CLP regulation. Again, Health and Safety Executive, that is HSE, is the GB CLP agency who is looking after the CLP regulation, and the functions for the substance and mixtures plays into the GB market. This also applies to GB manufacturer, importer, downstream user, and distributors supplying to GB market. So primarily being the GB regulation, it has the primary responsibilities lies with the manufacturer, importer, downstream users, and distributors. There is no official only representative provision within the CLP regulation as very similar to EU CLP regulation. But yes, you can appoint a European representative to comply with the regulatory requirements when you have some CBI related information while doing the notification within the CLP regulation. So the substance and mixtures which will be placed or imported onto the market in Northern Ireland are subject to EU CLP regulation because Northern Ireland will be treated as separate. So anything which applies to Northern Ireland based Northern Ireland suppliers who are directly supplying the to GB market with no intermediate uh, application of that chemical will qualify as qualifying Northern Ireland goods, and this QNIGs needs to comply with the GB CLP regulation as well. But in Northern Ireland, it needs to comply with the EU CLP regulation. So there could be a issue with the Northern Ireland suppliers. They have to comply. They might have to comply with the two regulations, that is EU CLP as well as GB CLP. And obviously HSE is the agency where any new chemical which will be placed into the GB market, that has to be notified first within the CLP regulation, so that they are aware like what is the hazard nature of the chemical which will be placed into GB market. A very interesting highlight here is all existing EU harmonized classification and labeling in force as on 31st December 2020 are retained in GB as it is, but it has been renamed as GB Mandatory Classification and Labeling, that is GB MCL list. Earlier it was EU Harmonized Annex 6 list of substances, but now it will be within GB, it will be called as GB MCL list. The classification and labeling of substance and mixtures placed on the GB market must comply with the GB MCL where it is relevant. So first, any exporter needs to identify whether their chemical falls within the MCL list or not. If it falls within MCL list, then it has a harmonized classification and labeling requirement that needs to be maintained or managed while supplying that particular chemical into GB market. HSE and the ministers, including the ministers that developed administration acting as GBCLP competent authorities and can propose new and revised GB MCLs. So obviously the mandatory classification labeling list is not going to be a constant list. It is going to increase. So there could be a possibility that HSE or the ministers who are involved, they can propose additional chemicals and this list will be further updated in due course of time. The allowance to request the use of alternative chemical names remains the same as very similar to EU REACH, wherein you can request for alternative names for that particular chemical. In that case, you need to request to HSE, and once you get an approval from HSE, then you can also use the alternative chemical names within the CLP regulation. All the GB based importer and downstream users and the Northern Ireland based downstream users directly supplying to GB market should be aware that now they need to also submit the information to UK National Poison Information Services. It's a UK's poison center. Wherever like in EU CLP, you are doing the poison center notifications, which is now managed by ECHA. So in UK or in GB, you need to do the notification to the National Poison Information Service, which is a national poison center at UK. So this is a new development within GBCLP regulation. So how these changes will happen to CLP? So there is a detailed procedure which has been outlined by the HSE within the GBCLP regulation, and then in this case, like the MCL list will be further updated or the classification related to substance will be updated based on the opinion prepared by HSE. The opinion will be further recommended to the ministers, and then ministers may take the final call to add that particular chemical into GB MCLs. So there could be a direct ministerial decisions that might come up to add the substance into GB MCLs. So it will all depend upon how the MCL list will be amended. Other amendments to the GBCLP regulation will be made by using the secondary regulations. Like there could be a list which come from UK REACH, which needs to be further added into the GBCLP regulation. Like the MCL list might grow with the new HVHC which will be identified within the UK REACH regulation. And then obviously there will be a second method where there will be possibilities to identify the substance from the EU CLP regulation, and they can be further added to GBCLP regulation. So there are different provisions for making changes in CLP regulation, GBCLP regulation, which is already highlighted by the authorities. So this GBCLP regulation is impacting several different regulations. These are the list of regulations which will be impacted by the GBCLP regulation. Primarily the UK reach will be impacted with GBCLP. Then obviously there will be control of substance hazard to health, that is COSHA. There will be a control of major accident hazard regulation that will be impacted by GBCLP. Then biocidal BPR regulation, plant protection, product regulation, and management of health and safety at workers. These all regulations will be impacted by the GBCLP regulation. So whatever changes that will happen within GBCLP regulation, or whatever changes that will new changes that will come up with the MCL, new amended MCL list, those will be impacted within these different regulations. So the chemicals which will be covered by different regulations will be covered within GBCLP regulation. There are exemptions from GBCLP regulation. So GBCLP regulation will not be applicable to the radioactive substance and mixtures, substances and mixtures subjected to customs supervision, non-isolated intermediate substance and mixtures for scientific research and development which are not placed on the market, and the waste which is not covered within the GBCLP regulation. GBCLP regulation also does not apply to the following chemicals which are the finished state intended for the final user, such as medicines, medical devices, veterinary medicines, cosmetics, food and feeding stuffs. So these are exempted from the GBCLP regulation. Further, just to know how the enforcement will happen within the CLP regulation, basically anyone can report to the about the non-compliance that has happened with the CLP regulation directly to HSE or any other enforcement agency which is known to them. They can raise their concern or they can directly report about non-compliance. While reporting the non-compliance, they should directly write a mail to the chemicals regulation division. The email ID is given here by providing the following details such as the company who is under non-compliance, product details, which part of law you think they have breached, uh, and then obviously the product label, safety data sheet, and the links to the web pages. If something is available, then that can be reported to the agency, and the enforcement actions will be taken by the HSE or the relevant authorities. Please be informed that they will not investigate the complaints from anonymous sources. They would require the details or the whosoever is complaining about anyone. They need that details. They can keep the confidentiality and they can maintain the confidentiality of the complainer, but anonymous complaints will not be considered by the authorities. So once the complaint is received, they will acknowledge the receipt of that complaint, and then they will ask you more information, like what all details, if there is some missing information or they need, there should be some additional information should be requested. So they will request that. If HSE is not the relevant authority, they can further it transfer to other authorities who will take care of it, and then they propose a course of action. They assign a priority to the incident and concern based upon the severity or the nature of that particular issue that has identified, and then they inform the decision. They also initiate an inspection procedure. They can contact the duty holder. They can visit the duty holder uh, against which they have received the complaint, and even they can enter the premises, they can seize the evidences, they can serve notice, and they can also prosecute offenders. So depending upon the severity of the nature of the complaint, the authority will enforce the regulation, and then there will be offenses and penalties which is already mentioned into the GBCLP regulation. So offenses will be like if they are obstructing the inspector, or they are providing false statements, or they are failing to comply the notice served by the inspector, then it will be considered as offense, and then further penalties will be applicable based upon the severity of the nature, and court will decide obviously what will be the penalties. So there is no limit on the amount of fine that can be awarded, or in certain circumstances the court may sentence an individual up to 2 years in prison. That is a severe penalties which is mentioned within the GB-CLP regulations. So CLP regulations, I mean, cannot be taken lightly. There are severe consequences if somebody fails to meet the GB-CLP regulation. So this is brief about the CLP regulation, but otherwise the regulation remains the same. So some take-home messages for CLP regulation. First, you need to identify the chemicals which are exported to GB and know their labeling requirements. Check if they fall within MCL list. I mean, if they are part of harmonized substance list, then you need to meet the requirements accordingly. Also check the SDS. It is very important that you should have the correct SDS as per the UK REACH regulation, and the classification should be as per the GB-CLP regulation, because GB-CLP regulation indirectly impacts UK REACH as well. So your SDS should be correct and your classification information should be correct. Identify if there is any CLP notification obligation applicable to your chemicals. If you're putting up the chemical for the first time into GB market, yes, there could be a CLP notification requirements as well within the CLP notification. Keep up to date information for any changes in classification of your chemicals, so that you know whatever is happening with the labeling requirement for that particular chemical. So we at GPC can help you to meet your compliance requirement. Please feel free to contact us. As rightly pointed my colleague, Mrs. Priyanka, you can visit our webpage, gpcgateway.com, wherein you can find more information about the GB-CLP regulation, and you can also drop us an email so that we can respond to your queries. So with this brief presentation, I thank you all for patiently listening, and we are here to answer all your questions.